Okay, so you guys wanted to learn about the Battle of Mutah, right?
Yeah.
You know, a turning point
Yeah.
in early Islamic history. And I got to say, the sources you sent, fascinating stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to deep dive into this whole event,
Right.
right? See what it can teach us about, well, leadership and strategy and, what it even means to win, especially when you're facing, like, impossible odds, It all went down in the 8th year AH.
Yeah.
That's after Hijrah, the Prophet Muhammad's migration from Mecca to Medina.
Absolutely. This story, I mean, it goes way beyond just the battle itself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think what makes Mutah so compelling is that it shows us so much about, like, the early Muslim community, how their identity was forming, and their resilient, like, just incredible resilience in the face of these crazy challenges.
Yeah, it's a real David versus Goliath story.
Yeah.
And it all starts with, like, this really shocking event,
Right.
the assassination of the Prophet Muhammad's emissary.
Yeah.
So to give everyone the full picture, Al-Harith bin Umair al-Azdi, he was sent as an ambassador, right?
Right.
But he was killed by Shurabil bin Amr, a Byzantine commander.
This was a huge deal, like a total violation of all the, diplomatic norms back then.
Yeah.
They were untouchable. Their safety was, like, guaranteed. Everyone knew that. But Shurabil, by breaking this ancient code, it was like, okay, Prophet Muhammad, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, he forced a response, for sure.
Absolutely.
And the response, swift and decisive.
Oh, yeah.
The Prophet Muhammad puts together a force of 3,000 men.
Wow.
I know it doesn't sound like a lot today, but back then, that was serious business.
Huge mobilization of men, resources, everything.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
And, the guys he put in charge, really interesting. Zayd ibn Haritha, Jafar ibn Abi Talib, and Abdullah ibn Rawaha.
This choice of leadership, oh man, this was critical. These guys weren't just military commanders, right?
Yeah.
These were the Prophet Muhammad's close companions. Guys known for their courage, their wisdom, deep, deep faith.
Oh, yeah.
Like, sending these guys, it was a clear signal. This is serious.
Yeah, no messing around. And speaking of courage, there's this, like, unbelievable poem by Abdullah ibn Rawaha.
Oh, right.
Really gives us a glimpse into the mindset of these guys, these Muslim soldiers.
Yeah.
He's talking about seeking either victory or martyrdom.
Wow.
I mean, the power of his words, man, it really got to me.
Poetry back then, I mean, it wasn't just art.
Right.
It was like this powerful way to inspire people,
Yeah.
Convey deep emotions, record history even. So this poem from Abdullah ibn Rawaha, it wasn't just beautiful, it was a reflection of their dedication. They were ready to die for this,
Powerful stuff. And it sets the scene for what happens next.
Yeah.
So the Muslim army, they arrive at Mutah, right?
Yeah.
Ready to confront the Byzantines. But what they see,
Boy.
dude, it's almost unimaginable. This massive Byzantine force
How massive are we talking?
to 200,000 men. 200,000. Plus their Arab allies, all ready to fight.
10-to-1 odds.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You have to wonder what was going through their minds at that moment.
Right. Any rational person would be like, okay, maybe we should rethink this. But, it wasn't just about military strategy at that point.
Wow.
This was about faith, about principles, about defending their community no matter what.
Yeah, they held their ground,
Yeah.
driven by something much bigger than themselves.
Way bigger.
And they fought like crazy with incredible bravery. But, those three leaders, Zayd, then Jafar, who kept fighting even after losing both hands.
Wow.
I know. And then Abdullah, they all fall one after another.
Yeah.
It's inspiring, but also incredibly sad.
It's important to remember, right? These weren't just strategic losses. I mean, these guys, they were heroes to the community, deeply respected, beloved.
Right.
It was devastating, but it also, like, fueled the determination of the remaining soldiers. They were fighting for their fallen brothers now.
Absolutely. And then, this pivotal moment happens. Khalid ibn al-Walid steps up.
Right, Khalid.
Talk about a leader stepping up in a crisis, right?
Oh, yeah.
But he didn't just, take charge. He completely changed their strategy. It wasn't about brute force anymore. So what did he do?
Khalid, he saw that the situation needed a new approach. Straight up fight. No way.
Right.
So he does this really clever thing. He breaks the army up into smaller, more mobile units.
Ah, I see.
So they could, do quick strikes and then retreat strategically.
Huh. So he could harass the enemy and avoid, a full-on assault.
Exactly.
That's amazing. So he used their smaller size as an advantage.
Yeah.
But wasn't retreating, against the whole idea of martyrdom.
He didn't just retreat, though.
Yeah.
He, like, turned the retreat itself into a weapon. He was so skilled at it, the Byzantines thought they were facing a much larger force or an ambush.
Oh.
It made them hesitate. It confused them. It worked.
Man, that's some strategic genius.
Khalid, he was a brilliant military mind.
So what happened? Did they achieve, like, a total victory?
Well, Mutah wasn't a victory in the traditional sense.
What do you...
Like, they didn't crush the Byzantine army, they didn't conquer new territory, but they did inflict some serious losses. And they did it while surviving against impossible odds.
Okay, yeah, that's a victory in itself. They achieved the impossible.
Right. And when the army got back to Medina, the Prophet Muhammad, you know what he focused on?
What?
Not the losses. He said, "They are not the ones who fled, but they are the ones who will return, God willing." He flipped the script, turned what could have been seen as a defeat into this story of, like, resilience and potential.
Yeah.
Huge for morale.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So even though it wasn't like, a classic victory, it was a turning point, both in terms of, like, their strategy, but also how they define success, right?
Definitely.
Like, it was a lesson in, like, adapting to challenges and never giving up.
Totally. You know, the Battle of Mutah, it's fascinating on so many levels. It makes us rethink our assumptions about what it means to win, you know? And it really highlights the power of leadership, to inspire, to adapt. You know, put yourself in Khalid ibn al-Walid's shoes. Taking command after such a loss, rallying your troops against impossible odds, a masterclass in leadership under pressure.
Yeah, I think you're right. Absolutely.
Truly amazing.
It is.